The hair's all over the place. Oh, whatever. As you can see, my shaving technique is off the charts. Um, the first time I did like three mewing videos, but as usual, my chaotic nature, I end up going on tangents. I still don't have a structure, but this video is going to be hopefully an improved and more structural version of a guide to improving bone structure, which applies to the entire body but not the skull, but will be a focus primarily on the skull for reasons of vanity and self improvement. So, if you accept that mewing is possible, the effect of expanding the maxilla, you must apply that to the entire body. Bones in relation to environmental pressure and the state of the muscles influences the position of the bones and the development of them. So the basics of mewing are the tongue, you you put it on the roof of the mouth and swallow so the back of it comes up, because the back section is where, like, the front it all matters, the whole thing. The back, like when you swallow like that, the back is what's going to bring it forward. That's when you're going to make the progress. And things that you might encounter if you've got malocclusion and crowded teeth is you might not be able to get the tongue up there properly because there's not enough space. And if that's the case, then thumb pulling is something that you can use, which is like this. So you tuck your chin in, so you look like, you know what I mean? Whoa. So I think a guy called Oscar Patel that I encountered was talking about this, and a thing that you can do that I did mention in the other videos is below your zygoma. Before you do that, uh, you can do this stupid face and press under the zygoma, and it's claimed that that loosens the fascia, which it does, but also the pressure against the zygoma, in my eyes, is going to make it come more protruded. So, um, and as well, when you're doing that thumb pulling, uh, you're probably going to encounter gag reflex problems, but that's kind of like a muscle. Like there's this channel, like ASDF movie channel. I used to watch it when I was like 12. Um, he got like something stuck in his throat, and women, you'll know what I'm talking about. uh, and the gag reflex has gone, so you feel like you're gonna throw up when you're doing that. It gets easier, and I've noticed that when you physically stimulate yourself, at least in my case, when I first get up in the morning, if I attempt to do it, the gag reflex seems stronger. But if you get out there and move, for some reason it gets less prevalent, if that's the right word. Um, and as well, you want to like I see how I'm moving it back and forth, sort of like massage it with pressure. Um, what can also help is physical activity altogether, because it increases growth hormone. Also, fasting increases growth hormone. And then, if you do that at the right moment, let's say you fast for 36 hours, Now, if you were to go out and sprint at the 35th hour, just sprint, we won't get into all the rest of the shit that you can do, and then eat at the 36th hour, the synergy of the growth hormone that you have produced while fasting and as well as the insulin, especially if you're insulin sensitive or insulin resistant, whatever the term is. So that means that to have the same effect of absorption, because insulin, the presence of insulin is to absorb nutrients. But if you don't eat carbs all the time and shit like that, I mean, there's apple cider vinegar and shit like that, but I don't like drinking it. It's rank. I mean, if you're gonna do it, I'd suggest diluting it because I think you can end up with problems if you're drinking that straight. Like, if you want to be a mad cunt, then do it, but it's fucking grim. Um, what else? So there's this. You can get your thumbs or whatever under the zygoma. Then also the pressure under that, massaging it back and forth. Get under this bit here. You're gonna look like an idiot, but fucking like you're gonna outmog them, and they're gonna look like the 2008 market. And as you can see from my previous videos, if you look back at them, we've made some amazing progress at the age of 25 in a very short space of time, by the way. I mean, sup everybody, how am I looking? Oh, yeah. Wow. And don't be afraid to touch the teeth as well. So, but don't be focusing on. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's gonna fuck it up. You want to focus on the jaw itself. Now, the lower jaw, if the same apply, right? If you search on the internet, like different cultures, they understand this concept. Like I remember seeing a picture of they used to put weights. This tribe in Africa used to put weights on the head so it'd make their head look like a fucking like something off Star Trek. Like so when it comes to the mandible, right? Now I mentioned this. When I went at the age of about 18, 19, this is when I encountered these concepts. And at the time, I was very neurotic and insecure. And I thought I had a weak chin, which, funnily enough, I didn't at the time. My skull, when I was about 18, 19, in retrospect, because I've seen a few pictures, was actually pretty developed, but it declined from that point on for several reasons, bad habits, but also because instead of holding my teeth in a bite, my insecurity and vanity made me do this. Alright, see a gap there. I was holding it here because I wanted to jut this a bit forward. Now, because you want to be beautiful, don't you? It's like, well, I want my jaw a bit, an inch. You know what I mean? People do mad shit, don't they? Some people suck the cheeks in. Like, you know what I mean? But there's nothing to be ashamed of about stuff like that. Because the overcoming of those, it's not you that's making you do that. You think that it's you, but really it's like demons that you need to beat. And if you beat them, that's the point of life. Overcoming those obstacles and finding out who you truly are. So moving on, what I was saying about the mandible, this isn't necessarily proven, but if the same things apply, now what my point was when I brought that up about putting anything here, I think my mandible sort of like it used to look wider. So through chewing on both sides of the mouth and chewing harder stuff, which I'm not really doing at the minute, but it will naturally go a bit wider if your maxilla expands, but also get your fingers and pull it. under here as well. And doing it like a little bit. I haven't been doing it much recently. This stuff. I've had other things to think about. Um, and that's another thing. Like when when I first found out about it, it was like, right, well, I want to be beautiful. I'm gonna do it all the time. And I didn't know if I was doing it right. I probably wasn't. Um, uh, and after a point of time, I lost current interest for it because I was more concerned with like consciousness and shit. Uh, and at that point, you can look at what my skull looked like because it's on the channel Child of Fire. I think I looked alright at that point, but yeah, as you can see at the start of this channel, also because of breathing problems, which has also been documented, if you get allergies in development, you can't breathe through your nose. You're gonna have to breathe through your mouth, which is essentially what happened to me because I was given a antipsychotic drug which made me not be able to breathe through my nose, and it made me skull recess. And it was horrible because I knew it was going to happen, and I explained this to the people around me, and this nurse just said, "Well, it's not going to happen to you." Well, it did, and you can fucking see it. So I did warn you, you fucking bitch. Did you listen? No. Nevertheless, I look damn good now. um. So yeah, you know what I mean. But how do you know that that ain't gonna work? This sort of thing. Next, moving on. You want to create a good swallowing pattern. Now, people that have hollow cheeks, the things that are in relation to that, um, are like the buccinator, which is the muscle here that is responsible for suction. It gives the That's why babies have chubby cheeks because the buccinators are naturally more developed at that stage so that they can suckle on the mother's tits, and that's the natural way of doing it. And if that doesn't happen, that also actually makes skull dysfunction. So any mother that does not want to breastfeed, you're doing a disservice. And another little additional thing, cesarean section can cause, well, what they categorically define as attention deficit disorder. So, and that's something to do with the microbiome imbalance. I'll make another video on that. Otherwise, this is going to be off on a tangent. Anyway, moving on. So, mewing, you want to create a swallowing pattern, and the tongue it's supposed to, the buccinate is not involved, and it's going to be difficult to actually to develop the habit if you've got crowded teeth and you've got a habit of using these suction muscles. It's going to look something like this. I mean, I've kind of trained myself not to do it, but you're going to be using this, and it's going to chub it out, and you're going to look more infantile. Some people might like that look, but typically speaking, you want hollower cheeks. Looks better. What else? Lip seal. When you're chewing your food, if you can help it, keep your lips sealed. And throughout the day, lips sealed. Of course, there is a time to breathe through your mouth. But most of the time, and nerd neck, if you're, look, like, I fuck things up as well. You want to sit straight. And, if you're at home, you don't, man, I want to look like an idiot in a social situation, but this sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like, you do that, uh, and the neck, right? The tongue. I don't see a lot of people. I should have done this first, really, but this is a little gift in case you've got a good attention span. Uh, the tongue, right? Tongue is the strongest muscle in the body. Apparently, I don't know if that's true, but it comes all the way down here. So people might think you're fucking devil or something when you're doing it, but and then neck. If you stretch a muscle out and also contract it and use it, the range of motion is like it's going to be stronger in it. So stretch your tongue. Don't just do that. Do that as well. Smoking. Don't do it. um, and I'll wrap this up soon. One more thing. If you strengthen your entire nervous system and body, like if you want this to be more effective, what I would suggest you do is awaken your body as soon as you get up, because the neurological power of the tongue against the roof of the mouth will be easier to maintain, and the progress will be more effective. So, do something that makes you alive in the morning, and you will find that it naturally happens. Like, you've got to consider not everybody knows about this. Now, the people that are really beautiful but have recessed skulls and muscle and bones all over the body, what that is a product of usually is depressive habits. Now, the best of us deal with depression, and we can get into the old spiritual battle shit. I need a cig. We can get into the old spiritual battle stuff. But the point is fucking I've lost my head here. It's because I'm smoking a cig. This is to prove a point, right? Vices, fucking hell, this is gonna be too long. But everything I'm saying is useful. So if you want to learn something, then keep watching. Or you can go and watch fucking TikTok bullshit. It's up to you how you spend your time. But let me tell you, this is the best channel on the internet already. And the worst. Wow. Best of both worlds. But with vices and shit, like hedonism, fair enough, sometimes you want to be a naughty boy and you just want to gratify your desires and have a bit of fun and give yourself a minute, right? Like I do with smoking, and that's the only serious vice I have at the minute, to be fair. If you're doing it, you have to accept the price of what it is. I understand that it increases cancer probability by a massive amount. Something that I'm going to need to chill out with, but at the minute it's helping me with the crippling pain of loneliness. So if you have a vice, use it as a reward for progress. That's like using the devil's fucking strategies against him, innit? Just an idea. And there's another concept of this old Looksmaxxing red pill nonsense. That's bone smashing, and I mentioned it in the other video. Now, I wouldn't suggest that you smash your head with a fucking hammer or start banging your head into a door like fucking handsome Squidward. However, and also, I'm not entirely sure like that's going to have a good effect on the bones actually being shifted through mewing. So if you densify the bones too much, I could be wrong, but maybe that'll hinder progress. So do bear that in mind. But if you look at fighters' skulls, the zygomas are usually quite like prominent because they've been fucking leathered. So But that bone, that sort of thing, I'm not really doing very much at the minute because I've got other things to fucking do, man. I already look damn good. What else? No, that's it. I have some other ideas, but this is 20 minutes now, so that's enough of your time being sacrificed. And if you're stuck by, I hope you learned something. Thank you.